Hi there everybody. Thanks for coming to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to talk about something that every curly girl talks about, refreshing. So basically the thing that I hear all the time is that they have a hard time getting clumps on refresh day and that usually their hair turns out kind of stringy. And I'm going to tell you that I totally know what you mean. It really all has to do with whether or not you're using enough water. I think that's really what it comes down to.
Here's a picture of my hair when I did a refresh with not enough water. As you can see, it is quite stringy. Just keep watching if you really want to see how to get the thick clumps even with a refresh.
My hair has just been really kind of not brushed out per se, but I use my fingers at night and it's been a few days since I've washed it. So it's really wavy and kind of on the straight side right now. So I want to pick me up. We're going to just see how much water it really takes to get the hair to start to clump. We don't even necessarily need to use more product. Sometimes it's just a matter of using enough water. So the only other thing that I will add really quick before I get started is that when we refresh our hair, depending on our hair type, depending on our porosity, whether or not our hair was already very dry, we may need to use more or less water, maybe depending on the day, okay? So the amount of water that I'm about to use on my hair may vary and may be different for you, but I really want to give you a good idea of just an approximation here, okay? I think sometimes we just don't really think about how much water we're actually using, and it's usually just not enough. So let's see. I do have fairly dense hair. I've never had thin hair, although I wouldn't say that my hair is, you know, extra thick or anything. I can usually get away with a normal size hair rubber band to secure it and stuff. So I'm just trying to give you an idea of how much hair I have so that you might be able to compare this. The spray bottles that I'm going to be using, this one is a 12 ounce. Well, they're both 12 ounces. And let's just go to town. Let's count how long this also takes to really thoroughly saturate my hair. All right, so here we go. I was going to use a towel. Maybe I'll grab it here in a minute. This has a really good stream to it, a nice wide spray, and I'm getting it close to my roots. And when I refresh, I like to actually kind of, you know, run my fingers through my hair while I'm doing it. This is not even quite half of my hair. It's not even quite wet yet. Okay, and I do want it to start dripping. Let's make sure the roots are just as wet as everything else. I don't know if you can see at all how much water I'm actually spraying on here. Okay, now at this point I'm getting afraid that I'm going to start dripping everywhere, so oh my gosh, I just keep going and going. I actually have low porosity hair, and I found that when I use cold water that my hair doesn't absorb water very well. So it takes me a little bit longer than maybe a person with high porosity would. This part of my hair is so thick right here, so I'm going to make sure and open it up and really get it in at the roots. And then I'm just smoothing it through because we don't want to have any frizz and we want to keep the clumping happening. Okay, I'm going to get my towel now. This has already taken almost 2 minutes and I'm not even halfway through my hair. I've used about 4 ounces of water. The quickest way to do this would probably be just to run the shower nozzle over my head, right? Let's get this middle section. This is why I don't do refreshes. It's like, how much water do I really need? My hand's getting tired. You know, seriously, just get it wet in the shower or just wash it. I'm going to get through most of this whole bottle, and I might have to start on a second bottle, you guys. Another 2 minutes. Oh, jeez. It doesn't feel fast or that effective to refresh my hair. I don't usually do it. I just usually will wear it up or kind of brush it out and not bother. Okay, so now this is the problem that I'm coming across. My hair itself is really damp. It's pretty wet on the ends, but the roots are still not quite wet enough. This is one of the problems with refreshing. You're going to lose body on the top of your scalp, and you're going to get a lot of frizz up here if you're not able to flip your hair upside down, right? We need to get our hair upside down to get those roots lifted. But remember, right now, my hair wants to go this direction. I'm going to really have to, you know, get the direction changing. So I need a lot more water. At this point, I'm just going to have to turn over and start spraying and make sure my roots are really wet. This towel is just pointless. I might as well just soak myself. All right, here we go. Because see, now look what's going to happen. As soon as I try to start getting the hair moving forward, it doesn't really want to go, and it's become stringy. I've lost some of the clumps because I tried to change the direction of the hair. So we're going to get the hair going all in one direction and making sure it's soaking wet. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm getting pretty close to the bottom of the bottle. Some of my hair is dripping, but that's what we want. If I was to add some conditioner to my hair at this point, it would stop it from dripping. I probably should have just opened the bottle and dumped it over my head. I don't know if that would have been any better. Now this part feels tangly because it doesn't want to change the direction. Okay, at this point I'm going to add just a little bit of conditioner because I don't want to lose all of this moisture, and there's just a few spots that aren't smoothing out and are a little rough and tangly. This is my homemade conditioner. I really don't use anything else because I seem to be allergic to so many other things. Now this is where we're going to be raking a lot and where those clumps are going to start forming. So I'm getting my fingers kind of in a curving pattern when I rake, and I'm going right up against my root and really changing that direction, and that is what is going to give me the lift at my root. Usually you have to divide it into a few sections, so I can kind of put this out of the way. My hair is not as slippery as I would prefer. I didn't want to put too much product in it. I just kind of want to really show you that it's more of a water situation. If I use my Denman brush, then I can go through my hair really, really quickly, and I wouldn't have to rake it as much, and it would make it smooth right away. So I used basically the whole bottle, but I want you to see this. These clumps are looking really nice and they're looking really smooth. Alright, and so I'm going to go lock these in place now with a t-shirt. Alright, this is just a random t-shirt. I like to take one layer at a time and start with my hands open, come up kind of like flat hands, and then once I get all the way up, I squeeze and I just hold it until that excess moisture really soaks back into my towel. I'll usually hold it for several seconds in the same place, and then I move my hands to a dry place on the towel and I move to a new section of hair. So flat hands first, and then squeeze and hold. I'm squeezing up as close to the roots as I can, but you can see that really is shrinking up the curls. Okay, and I know I can get just a little bit more liquid out. So I'm going to do that one more time and make sure I don't miss any spots. Those curls are looking great. I also usually will flip these back sections of my hair and do a little bit more scrunching right here. And in order to do it, I have to turn my head down pretty far, otherwise I will risk rubbing the towel up against the hairs instead of just squeezing. So turn down a little bit more. There we go. Now I can see that some of my hair is starting to get a little tiny bit dry, and at this point I could put a little bit of gel in it, which I think I will. See if you can see this. A little bit wispy. This is my homemade cream gel. I went ahead and diffused it for, probably 20 minutes. It's almost completely dry. I'm very pleased with it. I'm going to flip it over here in just a second. You can see all the clumps are still intact, really nice and soft. It's probably going to be wanting to fall forward, oh my gosh, because I diffused it upside down. Shake it back. And let it kind of get used to its new position here for a minute and figure out which way it wants to lay. Okay. So we're going to have forward hanging curls today, it looks like, but you know what? That happens sometimes. Carefully place any of these curls where you need them to be. And voila! Any shingling maybe, which is basically just separating the curls. Sometimes the clumps form a little bit bigger than you want, and you can separate some of the curls. Give a little more fullness. A little bit of a trick here to get that curl to lay back out of my face. Pull the front while hanging on to the back, and that helps it to go in that new position. Wow, how fun! You can get full, thick, ringlety clumps from a refresh. And all you really need to make sure that you do is use lots of water, soak your hair all the way to the root, get it going all in the same direction, and you really don't even need to use a lot of extra product. So I'm very happy with this. I hope you guys learned something today. I feel like Curly Q. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and always comment any questions for me that you might have. Thank you so much for watching. Bye everybody.